Welcome back to BVarsity Live. We are working our way through the Week 2 football schedule. It's a good one. We mentioned there's a lot of toss-up games, and boy, they really are. Just it seems like every game it's hard. I mean, anybody knows high school football anywhere. There's certain games where you look at it and you say, yeah, that, unless something drastic happens, that team's winning the game. There's just more talent over there, more depth. Coach who's been there a lot longer, whatever the case might be. But this week, that's not really the case. We have a lot of evenly matched teams and teams that we don't really have a read on yet in just 2 weeks, or in some cases, teams have just played once. So let's get back to it. We just picked South over Arvin. I believe all three of us had the Rebels in that one. Up next, Mission Oak at Bakersfield Christian. The Eagles are 0-2. Now, they've played two pretty good teams, and they almost had Templeton in Week 0, but the fact remains they're 0-2. They're trying to throw the ball. They've thrown it over 60 times already and only completed about 20 of them. But they've gotten a lot of yards. Now they're going downfield more than a high school team. And by the way, David Carr is their offensive coordinator, which might be a reason for that. Can they get off the schneid against Mission Oak? I say no, not this week. I think Mission Oak's too solid defensively to allow that to happen, and that's going to mean an 0-3 start for BCHS. What do you guys think?
It's a work in progress. They'll get there, just not this week.
The schedule is making it tough for them. I will say that.
I really want to be a homer here. I really do. But I'm going to go Mission Oak.
Yeah, but it would be a good place to start if you're looking for a statement win for Darren Carr. If they lose here, they've got Ridgeview next week. So then it starts to get real difficult where it's, you're barring, again, something really unexpected, you're looking at 0-4 going into the SSL. And then they open SSL with Wasco, Chavez, Kennedy. So things don't get a whole lot easier for BCHS for a little while. But somewhere in there are victories, we think. Coming up next, here it is. Cesar Chavez, 2-0. West High, 1-0. 1 at Porterville. Trevor?
I was just saying I'll be at that game.
Oh, you'll be at. Okay, well, no, you can't point at yourself and then only say that. Give us your take.
Oh, my take is, what did I put? Oh, yeah, I got West winning that one.
Yeah, why do you have to look? Don't you know what you think?
No, because I did them last night. I had to remember. But, yeah.
Why do you have West winning that one?
I like the targets that Christopher Coleman has at receiver. He's got two big ones, Haywood, and he's got Josh Boyd, both 6'3", 6'4". And you got a great running back, Jalen Simpkins, who's a bowling ball at 6'1", 250. And those guys also come back and play in the secondary, and I think it's at home. I think that this is a good statement win for Mark Camps and his crew. I think it's going to be a close one, but I see West pulling this out just barely.
Stan?
I'm going to go with the West High Vikings. Simpkins looks tough.
He does, and West
and he's a heck of a middle linebacker. If you ask Mark Camps, he likes him better at middle linebacker than he does at running back, and that's impressive.
West made me look silly last week because I picked Porterville to beat him, so that shows what I know. But I'm taking Cesar Chavez by a point. I think the Chavez defense is legitimate now,
and I don't disagree.
South got after him with two real big plays last week, but they couldn't move the ball down to down. And before that, it was a shutout against Roosevelt. They had 4 shutouts last year. This is a tough team to move the ball against. Having said that, West High home field advantage, has some athletes. It's going to be a good game. I have Chavez 21-20. Up next, Garcia at Burroughs out in Ridgecrest. I'm taking Burroughs here. Simple fact that the Burroughs have played better at home for years, significantly better at home than they have on the road. And if you think about it, you got to drive the 178 all the way out there. We talk about the Kern Valley trip. You're going a lot farther than that. And when they're on the road, they have to make the trip the other way. So it's easy to see why Burroughs' defense looks pretty good. They only allowed 7 in a loss to Tehachapi last week. I think that will be too much for Garcia. I've got it 14-10 Burroughs.
I got 20-6 Rams.
Why?
I just think that there's a learning curve for Connor Bruce. I think he had kind of happy feet. He even said he had happy feet in the Week 0 loss, and I think the team is just kind of finding a shape and kind of getting around. And they've got athletes there, and I think A.J. Gass is going to get them motivated for this one.
Stan, you have an opinion there?
I'm not going to give a score, but I'm going to go with Garcia.
Did you have a reaction to the A.J. Gass hire at Garcia, a guy from Servite coming up to Kern County?
No, I knew they were looking for somebody really good, and I knew they were going to get someone really good, and I'm happy for the program. I'd love to see them get their first win this week in Burroughs.
Yeah,
the Burroughs, right?
The Burroughs, yes.
Burroughs.
Next, Liberty at Central. Assuming this game gets played now, the air in Fresno is not good right now, and then you got lightning storms coming and all this other stuff, but we're going to assume it gets played. We're also going to assume Jordan Love is ready to play after he missed last week precautionary because of a head injury he suffered the week before. Central now Liberty has not
2 weeks before
the week before last week.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Liberty has looked sloppy. They've played some ugly football. I think Brian Nixon would say that. Central has been possibly worse. They've been outscored 85-14 in 2 weeks against good teams, but Liberty's a good team too. I think Liberty wins easy.
Yeah, 28-7 Patriots. I think they're
If Liberty loses this game, you're starting to look at a situation where the track is going to host every single playoff game, Stan. We don't want that.
No, that's not going to happen. Liberty big.
Okay. You heard it here first.
Big.
Liberty
Loves
over
back.
Central.
Big.
Centennial at Tehachapi. Here's another one of those games. Real tricky to call. I toyed around with this one going back and forth for a long time. I think Tehachapi is legit. I think that program is at its best when they have a fly-around type defense, and they have it this year. They've only allowed 2 points in 2 games, which means the defense has allowed none. They beat Foothill 49-2, then they beat Burroughs 7-0 last week. Now they get Centennial. Centennial's offense has been sort of hit or miss as well, but they have been able to hit the big plays against teams. Tehachapi, this is a stat I found out yesterday. Last time Tehachapi beat a Division I team, I told you yesterday, Trevor, Stan, do you have any idea when that would be?
I don't even know who it would be. I would say 7 years ago.
Very good. 8 years ago against Stockdale. Now, the caveat there, they've only played 3 Division I teams since then, and it was 2 against Liberty and last year against Centennial. They lost all 3. But that, to me, is kind of a sign maybe this program not quite up to that level yet, but they are playing at home. They grow the grass long up there. They take away some of your speed. Tehachapi's got a shot in this one. I give it to Centennial, though, 17-13.
I've got Centennial 21-13 in this game.
What are your thoughts? This is your home neighborhood school here.
No long grass. They haven't watered the grass is what I hear.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I have Centennial in this one. They're going to bounce back after what happened last week.
Well, good for them. Drought prevention, but it might be good for Centennial. So Centennial lost that lead against Clovis West last week. Thank you, Trevor. But or should we say thanks, Stan? Both of you guys.
No, not me. It wasn't me.
All right. Is this our last game now? I think this is our last game. Frontier at Independence. This is our game of the week. You can catch. Oh, did we do Golden Valley Highland?
Didn't we? No, I guess it.
Let's do Golden Valley Highland real quick.
Okay.
Golden Valley is at Highland. Both teams are 1-1. Highland lost that shootout out at Taft. They had 530 yards of offense, all that. Couldn't pull it out. They dug themselves a hole, essentially, and didn't quite have time to come back. And Golden Valley, lost to Taft also, and then came back and beat Miramonte in a tough game last week. There's a pretty good shot Highland at home is the favorite in this game, but we both picked Golden Valley.
Yeah, I think that the offense for Golden Valley is going to keep churning yards. Tyler Waters is a big body, another big body running back, and then Tyler Thompson.
Tyler Waters would be the quarterback.
Yeah, what did I say? Running back?
Yeah.
I meant quarterback. Yeah, then
Tyler Thompson is the running back who already is over the 500-yard mark.
Yeah. They had Andrew Dean that was supposed to be the big guy last year before, he had that leg injury that kept him out the rest of the season. It looks like Tyler Thompson's going to play that role this year.
Yeah, Highland, kind of a pleasant surprise for you so far. Stan, what do you think in this one?
I'm thinking Highland. I like them at home.
Yeah.
I think they're doing good stuff.
Yeah, that'll be a tough one to call. So you pick Highland. We both took Golden Valley. All right, now to our game of the week. You can catch this live on Bakersfield.com and on 1230 ESPN Radio. Frontier is at Independence. Independence opened last week in a very tough assignment to begin the Lucas Lucero era with Arroyo Grande, and Arroyo Grande really took it to Independence. Now they get to host Frontier, team that's had a week off since it gave Ridgeview everything the Wolfpack wanted in week 0. Does Frontier keep that momentum going and get a victory, or is it the Falcons who can come up with a way to get Coach Lucero win number 1? Stan?
I like Frontier. I like the way they played Ridgeview. I think you take a couple plays out of that game, and I think maybe they win.
Rich Cornford can coach, boy, and you don't see a team. His teams have had 2 sort of subpar years by his standards. I don't think they have a third. I think they're going to be a sneaky good team in Division I this year, and I think they win this game going away 41-20.
Yeah, you said a couple plays you take away in that Ridgeview game. I say 3 specifics. That's 3 long Darius Smith runs. Yeah. I was so impressed with Frontier. I thought they had a great, strong defense. I thought their offensive line kind of set the tone and really pushed the line. And they got a great running back. They got another great short yardage. And then Youngblood looks fantastic as a quarterback for them as only a junior. I think that Frontier kind of rolls this one, and I think it's going to be very interesting with it, if Liberty can't get their wheels underneath them between now and the second week in October. I think it's going to be really interesting, the SWYL. I'm excited about it.
We missed another game, too, Stockton and Atascadero.
Why are
That's
these
where you're
not
going,
popping
Stan.
up?
Yeah.
Atascadero at Stockdale. This is a good game, man. Atascadero beat the Morro Bay team that's going to Kern Valley. Atascadero beat them 62-14 last week, so they can pile up some points. Stockdale shut out Delano last week. They probably won't get a shutout this week, but they're not going to allow 62 either. What are we thinking here? We mentioned it's a chance for a statement for the Mustangs. Atascadero comes in, obviously kind of an unknown. This game went 2 or 3 overtimes last year over on the coast, and Stockdale lost. Little revenge factor, Stan?
Possibly, but I like the fact that Stockdale had to order more helmets this year, which means they have more kids out for their program.
See, that's inside information right there.
It's growing, so I'll base it on the more helmets, Stockdale.
That's a good formula, Trevor.
Yeah, Stockdale.
I take Atascadero. I'm going to be the bad guy again. I think it'll be a heck of a good game. And I'll tell you this: if Stockdale can win this game, they're at even another level than we thought they were, and they could be the team that's going to threaten for an SWYL title over Bakersfield or Liberty. We got a minute left. Fun game I want to play. Bakersfield and Liberty are both 0-2. I'm not sure anybody expected that. BHS is off this week. Liberty is at Central. What is the final record for each of those two teams? Liberty still has Central.
Regular season only?
Regular season only. They still have Buchanan. They still have Cathedral Catholic. Bakersfield still has Crenshaw. They still have Salesian. They still have Ridgeview. And then, of course, they have to play each other in league play, too. So give me Trevor, final record for each team quickly.
6-4 for Liberty, 7-3 for BHS.
Stan?
Oh, gosh.
Putting you on the spot, man.
I want to say the same thing, but I was going to say it. I'll go 7-3 for each of them.
7-3 for each. So one of them will beat the other, and then whoever wins that game is going to drop another game somewhere. I think that sounds pretty good. I'll go with a couple of 7-3s. There might be a 6-4. Liberty Cathedral Catholic will be a really tough test.
Yeah.
We are out of time.
BHS Ridgeview will be
We got to
very
go.
Interesting one.
Frontier Independence, again, live on Bakersfield.com at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. All the games late, though, because of the heat. Don't forget that. Producers John Farron for Trevor Horn, Stan Green, thanks for joining us. I'm Zach Ewing. We'll see you next week, guys.
Looking deep down the left side, Mendeville into the